Welcome to another crash course in Warframe. Today we're going to be covering Rhino, an extremely durable tank class frame. Rhino's power-hungry design demands that the player maintain a power level of at least 200 to 250, or remain close to a large supply of energy orbs. And his ability to maintain close combat with large groups of enemies and emerge completely unscathed adds a unique approach to gameplay compared to other frames, and I'd personally suggest having him wield a weapon capable of cleaving multiple enemies at once. Ignore the fact, of course, that I'm not practicing what I preach. I just want to deck the biggest dude out in pink, strap him with a pair of space boxing gloves, and go on a face punching spree. With a fair amount of shields, health, and the highest starting armor a frame can have, a fresh Rhino will feel extremely durable in the lower levels and will only get more impressive as we begin adding mods. And while his toughness comes with a slight cost in movement speed, this is nothing that can't be adjusted with a sprint mod or by simply using his first ability. Rhino Charge is a cheap skill that is strikingly similar both in action and in result to Excalibur's Slash Dash. Line up a bunch of enemies, hit the 1 key, and he will rush right through them, doing tons of damage and more than likely killing the majority of them. And as mentioned previously, because of the low cost of this ability, it can be used as a means to escape or when trying to jump large distances or clear gaps that would normally be impossible to cross. His second ability, Iron Skin, is basically temporary god mode for cheap. When activated, his armor is wrapped in a futuristic reflective nanopolymer or modern day tinfoil, depends on your perspective. And for up to 15 seconds, Rhino is invincible. Not only is he completely immune to all direct damage and all AoE effects, but he is immune to interrupts from the enemies and will regenerate his shield while the effect is active. This only further supports his effectiveness in close quarters combat, and with a steady flow of energy sitting around, you'll easily be able to surpass a minute's worth of unstoppable cleaving and or face punching. It also makes rezzing your fragile comrades laughably easy. Radial Blast, Rhino's third ability, is extremely handy at dispatching weaker enemies at close quarters. This ability, however, does not age well, as a full-length Iron Skin and a max-level weapon can do considerably more damage for less energy. That being said, you will definitely use this while leveling, as the knockback element can be a lifesaver when being crowded by enemies, especially during infested missions. Rhino's fourth ability, or his Uber, is called Rhino Stomp, because we're really creative with names here. He creates a shockwave that not only has a knockback, but also slows time down for the enemies, keeping them in the air for an extended period of time. And in a maxed out frame, the duration can be extended considerably. Now, while literally reeling from the effects of Rhino Stomp, enemies are completely susceptible to any and all forms of damage or CC, allowing you to focus fire on stronger enemies uninterrupted, or make a move for an objective terminal, or to allow Mag to get into a better position to effectively one-butt slaughter everything in range. But it's still kind of a cool ability. Rhino's mix of skills and durability makes melee play completely viable and makes Warframe feel closer to God of War than a Space Ninja shooter. He also has some of the highest survivability in the later levels when everyone else's abilities hardly dent mobs and the key to completing missions hinges on simply surviving the longest. And while some of his abilities will be mocked and seemingly trumped by other classes, especially in the lower levels, those same people will be kissing your ass when you're standing over them in a toxic mosh pit rezzing their delicate asses.